The very best of luck and enjoyment is hereby wished to all participants. Finally, it has been a heady privilege to be allowed to oversee this volume, since all we definitely know of Sherlock Holmes has spilled from the pen of Watson, and in 2 cases Holmes himself, who can hardly be trusted on the subject of himself. This trove is sure to offer unique insights. I hope its readers derive as much joy from these words as I did. Yours most sincerely, Lyndsay Faye.
Introduction. Dear reader, while this piece may seem eccentric to some for a practicing solicitor to produce, it has been one of the greatest joys of my existence to create it. The life and career of Sherlock Holmes, it is well known, have long held a fascination for me. He was my mentor. He is in fact rather revered. I dare say even he is my friend, which is an honour few can claim. The current publisher of the Strand magazine, therefore, desiring to publish more about Sherlock Holmes long after Dr. Watson retired from the practice of doing so, and after Sherlock Holmes took up beekeeping in Sussex, approached me as a man closer to the renowned figure than most. But sadly, unlike the wonderful doctor, I am no biographer. I would have no facility with such a project. I'm not worthy of such a task alone. Thus I've taken it upon myself to collect other people's accounts of the man. Some of these were easy to come by, others were not. The project, in fact, took years to complete. In each case I asked for a favourite memory, a shared adventure, and for that person to consult any personal documents they retained and then tell the tale in their own way. This may seem like foisting my own assigned work onto others, though I too have made a humble contribution, but I instead think of it as expanding the full scope of the man, as he is seen from differing perspectives, his mind, his humanity. I congratulate myself on my approach, in fact, for when I asked these friends and acquaintances for their memories, none of them hesitated. They all had plenty to say about Sherlock Holmes. Most of these offerings regard events that happened long ago, and so appear in the form of diary entries and letters, the writers returning to the occasion wistfully upon remembering it, and then making the pieces much more expansive upon my explicit behest. Very few people would ever have written in their journals quite so effusively. I encouraged this technique so that people might know that as outlandish as his life has been, that it was all true, and I am not a single witness, but rather part of the sea of people who remember Sherlock Holmes very well indeed following his retirement. I deeply hope he will be beekeeping for several more decades, though I dread a bit to think what he will make of this project. It's just as well. Sherlock Holmes can be offended when you didn't notice a stray eyelash, let alone published an epistolary tribute to him. The words in this volume are unedited, save for small concerns to aid the eyes of the beholder. I added quotation marks, etc. But the rest is simply various authors' true stories regarding a great man who lived a great life and can now indulge himself in a little peace. Finding myself quite proud, I hope he shall not be angry over it. He deserves the acclaim 10 times over. From the office of Mr. Henry Wiggins, Wiggins, Perry and Tilton Solicitors, 4 Grosvenor Place, London.
The Adventure of the Stopped Clocks. Irene Adler. Entry in the personal journal and scrapbook of Mrs. Irene Norton, née Adler, Thursday, May 31st, 1888. Goodness, I haven't had so much as a second to scratch down my thoughts. We closed our concert's 2-week run on Sunday the 27th to universal good notices, I add with a resounding huzzah. Here I've my brush and paste at the ready, and this review of my performance is too sweet not to insert immediately. It's always better writing to the aroma of glue and newsprint anyhow. Den zutiefst berührenden Höhepunkt des Abends bescherte uns contra Artistin Irene Adler als Fides. Mit ihrer fesselnden Interpretation von Au Prêtre de Bal im 5. Akt, welche den Zuhörern wohl noch Jahre im Gedächtnis bleiben wird. Or, as it would be said in my native tongue, the deeply touching climax of the evening brought us contralto Irene Adler as Fides with her captive...